Nigeria's political landscape may be going through a silent but very effective transformation with the emergence of the Obedient movement, a popular coinage of supporters of the Labour Party's presidential ticket, consisting of former Governor Peter Obi as a standard-bearer and Senator Yusuf Datti Ahmed, his vice presidential candidate. Just like the proverbial wildfire, the impact of this movement, which has its origins in social media, is surely and steadily being felt around major cities of Nigeria. However, the extent of its impact in the northern reaches of the country remains a bit iffy, given the springing up of opposition against its certain political forces, such as Governor Nasir El-Rufai of Kaduna State, who just sent detachments of the police to disrupt the group's planned 1 million man march in Kaduna, the state capital. Right away, we are being joined for a discussion on this subject by Nana Sani Kazaure, a member of the Obi Datti Presidential Campaign Organization. We'll also try to find out from her the level of women's involvement in the Labour Party and Obedient Movement's activities. Great to have you on the show. Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning. Thank you for having me.
Yes, it's a pleasure to have you here. Now let's start in terms of what the general, let's get your own opinion about how the Obedient Movement generally is going in the northern parts of Nigeria. We've heard, of course, it's a wildfire across the parts, but let's get your sentiment on how much interest it's garnered in that area.
There's a lot of interest in northern Nigeria as regards the Obi Datti movement. The north has been rife with issues, a plethora of issues that arise: insecurity, underdevelopment, the issues of education, even the issues of having internally displaced people. People are leaving their residence and the economy is coming to a grinding halt. And so, yes, the north is very, very interested in the narrative of taking over, of change, of having a new order take over.
All right, Nana, I understand that, but then I will like an elaborate kind of, insight into the sort of movement that you think that the Obi Datti movement is creating. And I would like you to start from what happened in Kaduna yesterday. Tell us if truly the 1 million man march was able to hold. I know that Port Harcourt, from what we have seen so far on the social media, Port Harcourt rally seems to be quite big, with a number of Nollywood stars being part of that movement. How did it go in Kaduna, and what will you say to what the governor of Katsina State, Aminu Masari, said about your candidate, saying that nobody knows Obi in the north and that he does not think he has what it takes to make an incursion into the northern votes?
People are entitled to their opinions, but you see the reality on ground, it differs. It's a different story altogether. One thing that we can say is that it begs the question, why are they rattled by people that they say are just on social media, or that there is no following, or there's no garnering of people wanting this particular candidacy for presidency? You should ask that question. Why are they rattled by us? Why is there a certain feeling that they are threatened? Clearly, I remember reading online that Governor El-Rufai said that we wouldn't be able to garner even 200 people, not to talk of 1 million. And so it begs the question as why would you have to have police? Why would it be interrupted? Trust and believe that at a later date, people will converge, people will still march. So far, like you already rightly pointed out, Port Harcourt, Calabar, and even Nasarawa State next door, we've had peaceful marches. So I see no reason why it had to be interrupted yesterday by the Kaduna State government. It means that they have taken note of us and our numbers are growing.
Do you have details of what actually happened? Does it mean that the the march in Kaduna was truncated by the appearance of the police officers allegedly sent by the Kaduna State government.
But of course, that's a rhetorical question, Steve. Of course,
okay,
it was there to the presence of the police was there to put a chink in the armor.
In light of these events that have unraveled with this rally, how does the Labour Party look to address, basically expanding more of its communication in the northern parts of Nigeria? Are you going to continue to face some more resistance, and how do you look to circumvent that reality?
The Labour Party movement and the Obidati movement, as far as I know, it's a clarion call. Nigerians are tired, and the North is not exempt from being tired. Underdevelopment is glaring. People want a change, and so yes, we're already making those inroads.
I'm just alluding to the fact that there's a very strong social media tool and machinery for the Labour Party. Now, in light of the resistance you've been faced with in the northern parts of Nigeria, how exactly do you intend to communicate more effectively to proposed electorate from these parts of the country?
In the northern part of the country?
Yes, please.
We are already in talks with people. We have our women leader who is also from Gombe State, and we are already making those inroads. It's beyond us. The social media presence that you talk about is run by people. They're not robots. And so there is that social media presence even in the north. It's there, you can see it. There's a growth for the movement even in the north.
All right, Nana, let me ask you this. I know that all the marches that are holding at the moment are basically like dress rehearsals to the actual campaign, which for the presidential candidates won't start until towards the end of next month. So my question to you is that...
Next month.
Yes, next month. So after all these dress rehearsal million-man marches, what specific strategies do you think do you have in place for the Obidati movement when the campaign actually starts? Because you will have almost 5 full months of campaign that can stretch anybody. That will require enormous resources. That will mean possibly having your flag bearers touching all the 36 states of the Federation. What strategies, therefore, do you have? And are you ready in terms of the war chest to go the whole log against the more formidable APC and the PDP?
Of course we are ready. You can already see that we have garnered a lot of goodwill from the Nigerian people. And if you believe in something, you will invest in it. So yes, people are investing their time, their money, and their efforts to help in the campaign. As long as it's within the ambit of the law, there's nothing wrong in fundraising for our campaign to pull through in Nigeria across the 36 states.
May I ask you as a follow-up, what got you drawn to this movement, the Obidati movement, given the fact that you're possibly not ordinarily a Labour Party supporter? You've got Atiku Abubakar, who's a northerner, and then you have the APC having a formidable northern running mate. My point is, you personally, what is the attraction to the Labour Party and to the Obidati movement for you?
The attraction is very simple. We asked for change, and we followed that narrative in 2015. We were promised that change. We didn't get that. And so our tired is actually tired. We didn't get that change. We didn't know where we were headed. We were told that there would be a change. And we haven't seen it. We are where we are now because it goes without saying the economy is coming to a grinding halt. People can't do business freely. We can't move freely within our own country. And the matters of insecurity, Look at, for instance, our tertiary institutions. When you 16 years of the PDP and now 7 years with the APC, cumulatively it's about 70 months. When you put 70 months together, that's almost 6 years that that students have lost. We just want a new order, and we want somebody younger, more vibrant. You know, Nigerians are very, very more aware today than we were a few years ago, and that is what attracted me to the narrative and to the promise that the Labour Party holds.
Right, Nana, so in light
Things just need to change.
Yes. And talking about change, in light of the attractiveness of what has become widely known as a third force pretty much in this race, there is also a widespread criticism that the Labour Party is lacking in an established political structure. What would you say in response to that? Is this a misconception?
Clearly, that's a misconception. The people are the structure. Without the people, you have no structure. And you can already see that the Labour Party, the party to which I belong, is already gathering. The people are moving to the next train, which is the Labour Party, and they're all welcome. Yes, we have structure, and those structures will vote. Yes, people. Well, of course, we know that campaigning is not cheap. Like you rightly pointed out, the presidential candidate is not. He's not a man without means. He's not a man without his own connections, and as we see it today, he's not a man without the support of the Nigerian people. So yes, frugality should not be looked upon as foolishness. In fact, it should be applauded. Because that's what we need in this country right now. We need somebody who is frugal, who understands that every penny counts. Not just to throw it around, but to make sure that the resources that we have at our disposal are properly dispersed and used properly for what it is meant for.
That's fine. That's fine. But beyond prudence, what specific change do you think that Obidati will bring to bear in governance in terms of redirecting the economy? A lot of people who have accused your candidate of always getting his statistics wrong. He asks people to verify, but then when they fact check, some of the things he says are not always accurate. In the area of economy and the area of turning, the country around, what specific expectations do you think that Nigerians should have if Obidati movement, gets to Aso Rock next year?
One thing that Nigerians must understand, and I would like to put this out in the media, error in statistics doesn't mean that you're wrong. Error in statistics doesn't necessarily mean that you are completely wrong. You go on Google, you type in for information, you get different answers. So it does not mean that he was being untrue with his statistics. What it means is that where he garnered that information from is what he presented. It does not make it untrue.
So what will he do differently? I noticed your reference to cassava Agbado the other time, and I hope that the owners of that phrase will not come after you. But what will Obi do differently as president in the area of economy?
He has already stated, and very, very clearly too, which is something that really caught my attention, which answers your previous question as to what attracted me to the Labour Party. We will become a production-based economy as opposed to being a consumer-based economy. And because, our production lines in Nigeria have come to a halt. They're almost non-existent. And so that's one way that will help. It will foster, it will definitely bring about more jobs for the people. And the fact that we're producing within our own country is a huge leap for Nigeria.
Right.
It's a huge leap.
And on that note, we want to thank you very much for joining us this morning. Nana Sani Kazaure, member of the Obidati Presidential Campaign Organization. Many thanks for joining us.